Hello and welcome back to Save the Homeless. Thank you so much all those currently supporting this so needed counter-narrative to save the homeless, give back the lost human rights and end the political shame. Now here's a couple of possibly very common examples of why Type 4 homeless people need to be housed immediately. Now keep in mind, these homeless are victims of circumstance and generally do not have mental issues. They're people just like you and I. The first real life case was when I was talking to a friend who said she noticed a young gentleman dressed in a business suit that sat on a park bench where she walked the dog every evening. One night she noticed that same gentleman leaning into the car, looking into the back of the car, and she noticed a doona and a pillow on the back seat of the car, which means he was probably actually sleeping in his car. His car was in fact his home. She also noticed that the car tyres in time were slowly becoming flatter and flatter. Now I wonder how long it would have been before his car was impounded and he'd be on the street hitting the drugs and alcohol. The second real-life case was when I was talking to the CEO of a not-for-profit shelter organisation. He told me that a 63-year-old lady walked into their organisation in a really, really bad state, wishing to end her life, wishing to walk in front of a train or a bus or something and ending it all. She said her husband had just shot off with all of their money after they recently sold their house and cashed in their retirement superannuation. He'd gone. He'd left her with a measly $200 in the bank account. She said her life was not worth living, and I get it. Well, this organisation spent 2 days getting her to think straight, get her self-worth back and reassure her that everything was going to be fine. Now, 2 days before, they let her in the back door destitute and desperate, only to have to open the front door up and gently push her out into the street. Just so sad. There was no place to house her. How does that not rip your heart out? How does the government actually sleep at night with these common occurrences? The third story is of the Indigenous single mother with the 2 children you heard about in the last podcast. Now, there's one simple difference in these 3 scenarios. One of these Type 4 homeless had a positive outcome. The single mother was given a place to live and retain her dignity. She's now flourishing, such a contrast of being 1 week from sleeping in a car with her 2 young children and potentially being on a path of ending up on the streets, having her children taken from her. The single mother was blessed with the support of our Vice Chairman, Omer Chaudhry, who paid $350 towards her weekly rental and gave her the opportunity to save up for a deposit to buy her own house and land package. What an amazing outcome. The power and compassion and kindness thanks to Omer. This shows the importance of housing them before they become homeless. Something that Tony Petropiccolo from Centacare, he's a CEO, has stressed. It's the only way to end homelessness. Get them before they become homeless, because then the damage is not starting from that point on. You can actually turn the whole thing around. And he's right. Now, in my upcoming counter-narrative series of podcasts I'm doing, you'll witness our sustainable movable home solution that enables a weekly rental of $51 per week. You'll witness the gross inefficiency and ineffectiveness of our governments. They ridiculously get into exorbitant high-rise apartment solutions, and they want to integrate our homeless into these solutions while not taking the recommendations of feasibility studies. And these reports blatantly advise them not to put homeless in multi-rise apartments. It creates ghettos and they don't assimilate, but they go ahead and do it anyway. Now, our solution needs to be presented to the Attorney General of every state and every country around the world so that we can give the homeless back their lost human rights, we can house them, and we can end this political shame. The Type 4 invisible homeless need to be housed immediately so that the Type 1 street numbers, the ones that Joe and Russell refer to, they don't continue to rise because it's inevitable. That's where they come from Type 4 to Type 1. I urge the likes of Joe Rogan, Russell Brand, Elon Musk, Tucker Carlson, Dan Bongino, Charlie Kirk, Benny Johnson, and others to get behind this and get these letters out to every state attorney general so they can give the homeless their lost human rights back and we can end the political shame. Jump on our website, savethehomeless.world, and download the Attorney General letter, and together let's get on this mission and turn homelessness around. If you've got a story that you want to share with us, please email me on help@savethehomeless.world. Thanks again to our philanthropists and partners for helping me on this great cause. Please subscribe to our channel for a mere $9.90 a month, and in appreciation receive one of our 2 glorious 10 easy recipe books called The Family Dining Experience. And for those with double income, no kids, you can download the Dink Dining Experience. Each month they're different. Each month we're also including a bonus recipe packed with nutritious vegetables created especially for our elderly folks. They struggle to put a nutritious meal together and they simply rely on a simple solution like a packet soup just to get by. Now these meals can be frozen so you can cook up a big batch, throw them in their freezer. They're going to love you for it. And you know they're getting good nutrition. My goal is for every 10,000 subscriptions to enable us to purchase a movable home and house a homeless family sleeping in their car. Your small monthly subscription can enable this to happen. To see how serious I am about homelessness, jump on my website, savethehomeless.world, download and share my song, Does Anyone Care? It's with my band called The Net.
I close my eyes. I hope that I'll wake again. I sleep alone in silence. I wake alone in silence. If I even wake at all, does anyone care? Anyone care?
Together we can put a huge dent in the homeless numbers, and with your support, together we can initiate the much needed changes. Jump on our website, savethehomeless.world, download the Attorney General letter, hit the subscribe button, get your free downloads. Join us on X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, Rumble, and TikTok. See you next podcast.